This is a video about the acceleration of research and innovation processes. If you look at process, it doesn't really matter where it leads to: a publication, a new product that you can bring into a factory, into a process, maybe for the benefit of an institution, a new data set. All these things into development normally is kept into a publication process that will lead to a formal publication. That's a bit old-fashioned, but let's look how a researcher or innovator works with that. Normally, there is a professional interaction with colleagues, with peers. There's research, creation, discussions, workshops, seminars. Maybe they chat, they email, they might even have a blog. It's a bit misty, it's never preserved, it's always lost at the end of the process. Then, there will be a peer review. The peer review is behind sort of a locked door. It's a controlled process, it's good, it's like that. But also that is very difficult to see what the arguments are, the improvements, the deliberations, etc. Finally, there's the formal publication. If we now look at a new publication process, we might see that things have changed. That peer review still at the end, it will exist, even in a few years' time. That's what I think. But the research project timeline itself, it will change. It will be facilitated by social media. First of all, people will start blogging. Not to everybody, not in a social blog from look at me and this is fun, but a serious one, where you invite your peers and colleagues for a discussion. That means that what is said in the blog is very, very important and interesting. It will lead to first versions. That can be done in a wiki, where people actually together edit and work on one document. Finally, it will lead to sort of, let's say, digital publications. These digital publications, they can be mixed in an appearance. If you then look at a digital publication, you will see that they have animated graphs, that have videos, podcasts, hyperlinks, all sort of. It's a multimedial thing. It's very important. Now, if you look at that, that is a lot less misty. And if we can preserve that, it will be obvious in that discussion or from that discussions what the decisions are, the interactions, the dialogues, what choices are made at what time, what the options were first, in what context the discussion was held and decisions were made, which networks of colleagues and scientists were involved, which knowledge maps were actually used, which networks of knowledgeable people outside their reach. Maybe intelligence has been used, analysis has been made. These sort of things, when they appear, it becomes very interesting to understand. The context of the social media will be the next big thing, because it accompanies the discussion and it takes care for references which will be so updated, so bright, relevant and developed to a maturity where the discussion will be richer in itself. Let's really see how that looks actually. First of all, it starts with a simple information value chain. In that information value chain, that information, first of all, will not be just information, it will be listed, it will be clustered, prioritized, abstracted. These abstracts might be alerted to the members of that discussion, of that group. It might be so that it's analyzed and the analysis will be visualized. It might be that the conclusions of these analysis will be presented to you in a very obvious and clear way. Might even that prior to the discussion, in the context of the blog, the recommendations already will be there and used and referred to. The people that participate in the discussion, who are actively involved in the blog or wiki, they will be shown on a knowledge map so that it's clear that they contribute as well, that they contribute with a certain status from a certain context of knowledge or experience they have. It is the internal personal knowledge map that will accompany the social media. Maybe not directly involved in the social media of that discussion, but in the context of the discussion, there will be specialists, key people, industries, institutions and organizations. They are important. They must be mentioned on a knowledge map, but what is more, they might show themselves in a stakeholder relevance map. In the overview, you can see on the right-hand side the database that says Data and Process Intelligence. And this is a very important part of the context of the discussion that will take place in social media. Suddenly, the data you use on a very early stage will be brought forward in a discussion, also the location of the data, the value, the validity, etc. Before we can move on, we have to understand certain things, because these are early days. We have no idea yet what social media will bring us for benefits within the arena of research and innovation, but we know somewhere this will be big and important and the next big thing. So we better start understanding and researching. What if we have a database of previous social media related to research that we are doing today? What will it happen? What will it mean for the startup of my research, for the lead time of my research, and what will it mean for the conclusions? What might even be more interesting, that you finally have a central archive of social media related to research with the right metadata, labeled in the right way so that can be searched and found, so that when you do research that is related in the future to what is happening today, that you can find the old dialogues and the old grey literature much more easy, that you know what publications have been sort of considered, in what sort of network people have worked, but what is more, you will also understand what data sets have been used and what is the location. And I sense that this might be a much more cost-effective and efficient way to bring in the open where data, relevant data, is located and how it can be reused in the future. Most importantly, final conclusion, that if we can capture and archive the social media of our processes of research and innovation, that it not only provides us a very good insight in what actually happened in these discussions, it also provides us with a knowledge map where data locations are, and where grey literature can be found, and where people can be found that were actively involved in certain decisions and processes. These things should be researched now so that we can move forward in this very, very interesting time. There you go. My name is Boyd Hendricks, and I wish you well.